A little bit of that, and then a lot of Coach Jones. What he's brought schematically, every O-line coach has different things that they like and tend to do, and he likes some of that stuff, helps us with some angles. So it's been good. It's been a good change-up for us. We can do some different stuff off of it, and hopefully we continue to run the ball well. Our whole offense is built around running the football, and if we can do that, we'll shine.
You talked on your radio show the other night about trusting the offensive line more. Was that kind of an example of that on Saturday, what you were wanting to do?
Yeah, I hope so. I just wanted to play. I feel like we tried to be too perfect against Oklahoma State after they kind of shut us down a little bit early, and we just got to let those guys play. Trust them. They're young, but let them grow up, let them play, let Nick play. And I felt like we just kind of played more freely and didn't try to be perfect all game.
Is there a little source of pride y'all get having that number next to your name now coming into this week?
I don't think so. I mean, we've sat around for a year being told we're the worst team on earth, so that hasn't changed. Our mentality hasn't changed. That number hasn't changed anything.
Coach, can you touch on the kickoff struggles this past week?
Yeah, not very good. Got to find somebody that can consistently, keep it in balance, basically. Barton had a tremendous game the week before and had some issues yesterday, and hopefully we can get him going again or find somebody that can.
What did you guys see how it went to get him to start and let him play so much of that yesterday?
He's just been very consistent with his approach, with his attitude, with the way he's been practicing, and so we wanted to get him out there and let him have his go at it. I was proud of the way he's competing, and we feel like we have two really good X's, and we'll keep running them both through there.
What's the status of Coleman and Basher?
Coleman, we'll see if he's able to go this week, and Basher is good to go.
What did you notice from your offense just in terms of being able to get off to that quick start? I know that's been a bit of a trouble in some games.
Yeah, we haven't. That was the first time we started fast all year as an offense, and we've harped on it. I think we just practice better. We practice starting fast. We practice having better focus at the beginning of practice, the beginning of drills, and hopefully that can translate to more fast starts for us.
Did you feel like you saw more focus at the beginning of that game offensively than you maybe have in the other ones?
Yeah, there just weren't the negative plays that we've had. We've hurt ourselves with negative plays, whether it be penalties or missed assignments. Everybody's doing their job early and doing it at a fast pace.
Is it that same focus that led to only 2 penalties? Is that kind of the same deal there?
I hope so. We had way too many against Oklahoma State, and we knew that, and we addressed it. But you got to do that week in and week out.
What did you see out of the defense that you liked on Saturday?
Really stopping the run, making them throw the football, which led to some turnovers. They had rushed for a bunch of yards against West Virginia, and we knew they had 2 weeks to prepare. We're going to come and try to run the football against us, but those guys did a good job against the run and made them one-dimensional at times, and that helped.
The 2 4th down stops were huge for the ball game. That has to give them a lot of confidence.
It does. Turn the momentum in our favor both times. One but this far to go, and they stood up and got big stops. So hopefully that does give us confidence moving forward.
Seems like every week that Eli just kind of comes on a little bit more and more, and kind of got his big game on Saturday. Is that just what you guys have always seen, just kind of waiting for it to show up?
Yeah, we have, and it's more just he hadn't played in a while.
Right,
getting back into it. Similar with Travis Bruffy, he graded out the highest of any O lineman this week, and so I think the more those guys play, the more they're going to get comfortable and the better they're going to be.
Talk about Nisby and Stockton and how their performance, and were the line splits a little wider because they seemed to, or was it just the offensive line being able to give them the holes?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the fronts and us being able to do some things schematically that led to some big holes, and those guys did a good job hitting the holes when they were there, sticking their foot in the ground, getting north and south, and it was a nice combination for us.
I might have missed it earlier in the week, but was Kiki, what percent was he at coming into that game, and kind of what was your strategy with getting him involved and not playing him too much?
Yeah, we just, I don't know his percentage. He wasn't 100%, I know that, and he was smart. He caught some stuff and found the sideline, and that's what we wanted him to do. And didn't take too many shots, so hopefully we can work him back this week and get him back to 100%. But I thought he handled himself well. He played smart and did what he had to do.
Kama did some stuff on special teams. Do you kind of see someone else taking Kiki's spot just because of him not being 100% and not being able to do that?
That was our thought last week, so we'll see where it goes this week. I thought Cam did a tremendous job creating some stuff on his own on a couple of those returns, and so we feel comfortable with either guy.
Were you surprised you're able to run the ball 52 times and only throw it 27?
That's what we'd like to do. I've tried to tell you that since I got here. If we can do it, we're going to do it. I want to play good defense and run the football. So hopefully we can do that moving forward.
Are you a little more relaxed than what you've been? I mean, you seem to have a little bit more of a sense, just you personally, a little bit more sense of confidence and just relaxed and just feeling good about things?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in season, you're always thinking about something when you're the head coach. But I think this team I like being around this team. I like what they're about. They work really hard. They do things right off the field. So I have a lot less headaches, if you will, throughout the season.
We're much improved playing run defense, which I think's been pretty obvious if you've seen us play all year. Oklahoma State ran for 200+ yards, but Oklahoma State's a really good football team. We just felt like if we could minimize the big plays, they got the 45-yard run, which was disappointing. But other than that, we fit our gaps up and we tackled, which we've been pretty consistent at this year. So hopefully we can maintain. But I know what's coming in the last 7 games, and we got to keep working and keep trying to improve.
What do you think's been right more so this year than what you've done in the past?
We have players who played. We've got 2 linebackers who've actually played in Big 12 football games and tackled Big 12 running backs, and actually have them on the field at the same time, which has not been the case in years previous since I've been here. Just some experience, some depth, guys buying into the system and working their rears off to get better every day, and we've adjusted some things, and we're not perfect by any means, but we're just trying to improve from week to week.
Could you elaborate on your depth a little bit and exactly how big a factor that has been?
Well, it's huge up front because we roll a bunch of guys in the front 5 and also front 4 and also the back 5 because we're playing so much nickel defense now. We'd like to play more linebackers, but they've been practicing better and been trying to roll some more linebackers in there, and I think you'll see more and more of those guys. But other than that, we're playing too deep. Not that I tell people this all the time. Not that our starters are great, but our backups aren't that big of a drop off. So you can look at it both ways. So, but the guys who go in the game, you don't notice them, and that they're doing their jobs, and they're not making it impossible to put them in the game.
How have you been able to get all the new guys just kind of adjusted to the defense, and just with all those new faces, how have you kind of got them to kind of be on the same page there?
I think the blessing is that the 4 junior college kids were here in the spring, so you had the whole spring practice all summer, all training camp. The miracle of them all is Rico Jeffers, who hasn't played a whole lot yet, but he's gonna be a great player here. He's just a baby. He didn't get here till June, and he's picked things up, and we put him in the game a lot more yesterday, and looking for him to contribute. But I think those guys who can get here in the spring give you a chance to get them ready to play in the fall.
When it comes to that drastic increase in forced turnovers, is it just more aggressiveness? What's been the biggest key from last year to this year?
If I knew I'd have done it last year, I think we have better players now, obviously. But I've always created turnovers, and it's just part of what we do. It's part of our identity, and I think these guys have bought into it. And I think they work at it every day, and it's part of who we are.
With Broderick and Mike, it just seems like they play really well together, maybe complement each other more so than a lot of guys in the past have on the interior for you guys.
Yeah, just two big body guys who play hard and do what they're supposed to do, and it's hard for those guys. It's hard to eat up blockers every play because everybody talks about making tackles and getting sacks and doing this and doing that, and the unsung heroes are the guys who are up front getting double teamed every snap. And truth is, we have unselfish players now, which is not the case when I got here 3 years ago.
Talk about Justice Parker's play against Kansas.
Played well. JP, he's shown flashes since last spring. I mean, coming out of spring ball, we thought he was going to be in the rotation. Didn't have a very good fall camp, and it's taken him some time to get back. But he's been playing some. He just hadn't played that much. But circumstances provided that he had to go out there, and I would talk to him all the time. When you get your opportunity, take advantage of your opportunities, and Justice did.
How much has having Dakota Allen back helped you, and what do you think about what he's been able to do for you?
I think it's huge. I think it's huge for Jordan. I think it's huge for the other 10 guys on defense, just because he's a calming. If you've ever spent any time around Dakota, he's a very calming factor. He can help everybody make the calls. He doesn't panic. He's just a good college football player, and he's played a lot of football here. So not surprised at all at how he's playing.
In terms of your cornerbacks, I guess, how have you kind of seen the way DeMarcus has played, and you kind of feel like he's kind of set himself up for maybe that #1 spot or #2? spot so far?
Well, it depends on how he practices every week. You can tell some guys play a lot in some games and don't play much in the next, and that's goes back to the whole depth issue. We've got 5 corners who can actually go in a game and function. So if you don't play good, if you're not practicing well, then you're going to be number 5 on the depth chart. But DeMarcus has done well. Didn't play much early, but he got better in practice, and we put him out there, and he started making some plays, and he's continued to make plays. So, but he knows the deal. He knows he's got to keep practicing because he's got 4 other guys sitting there competing with him.
Speaking of guys that have been playing well, I guess Eli Howard, have you kind of seen him kind of bad passes in practice, and is that just translated for him?
He's always done it. I've been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks that I'm surprised that he hasn't made some wow plays because he's that kind of guy. And I look like a fool in front of the TV people because I tell them every week that Eli's going to be the MVP of the game, and finally he showed up and affected the football game. But he does it every day. Not surprised at all.
Is the defense where you want it to be, or do you still think that this team still has more room to grow?
We will continue to work every day and try to get better every day and go compete every Saturday and give our offense a chance to win the football game.